Do you know that there are places on Earth that are harder to reach than the moon? I mean, man has mastered getting to the moon for years now, but there are still places on this Earth where it would be easier if you said you wanted to go to the moon than to get there. From scorching desert expanses to frozen tundras, in this video, we'll look at 7 destinations that push the limits of human exploration and adventure. Getting to them requires immense planning, specialized equipment, and a relentless pioneering spirit. Join us as we venture to the farthest corners of our globe, exploring some of the most inaccessible spots known to humankind. Number 1. Dallol, Ethiopia. Dallol is not only one of the hottest places on Earth, but also one of the most visually stunning. Here, temperatures can soar above 120 degrees Fahrenheit or 49 degrees Celsius, creating a fiery crucible that colors the Earth in yellows, reds, and greens. These hues are the result of sulfur and potash deposits, a vivid testament to the geothermal activity beneath the surface. Reaching Dallol is an adventure in itself. Your journey begins with an international flight to Addis Ababa, Ethiopia's bustling capital. From Addis, you'll take a domestic flight to Mekelle, the closest city to the Danakil Depression. In Mekelle, it's essential to join a guided tour. The region's extreme conditions and remoteness make expert guidance in a 4x4 vehicle crucial for safety. Traveling in a convoy, you'll drive through some of the most challenging and awe-inspiring terrains. The final approach to Dallol goes through a flat, desolate expanse of salt flats, stretching far beyond the horizon. Upon arriving in Dallol, you'll walk on the Earth's crust. Thinner here than anywhere else on land. The ground is warm underfoot, and everywhere you look, geothermal pools and gas vents paint a scene straight out of a science fiction movie. Visitors must be well prepared for the harsh conditions. Protective clothing, plenty of water, sun hats, and sunscreen are indispensable in this oppressive heat. Despite its challenges, Dallol offers an unparalleled experience. It's a photographer's paradise and a unique lesson in Earth's dynamic geology. Number 2. Oymyakon, Russia. Often referred to as the Pole of Cold, this place is located deep in Siberia and currently holds the distinction of being the coldest permanently inhabited place on our planet. In the heart of winter, temperatures in Oymyakon can plummet to below -50 degrees Celsius or -58 degrees Fahrenheit, challenging the limits of human survival and habitation. The extreme cold transforms everyday activities into a struggle against nature. Getting to Oymyakon is no ordinary journey. It starts with a flight to Yakutsk, the capital of the Sakha Republic, which is itself one of the coldest major cities in the world. From Yakutsk, the adventure to Oymyakon truly begins. The journey from Yakutsk to Oymyakon spans about 540 miles, 870 kilometers, and takes you through some of Siberia's most rugged and breathtaking landscapes. This route, known as the Road of Bones, is named for the laborers who died during its construction and were buried beneath or beside it. Travelers brave enough to undertake this journey in winter will witness a world enveloped in white, where frost mists hang in the air and the snow sparkles under the weak winter sun. Vehicles must be specially equipped to operate in this harsh climate, and emergency survival gear is essential. Upon arriving in Oymyakon, visitors experience life in the extreme. Locals have adapted to the frigid climate in remarkable ways, from unique dietary habits that focus on meat and fish to special clothing to fend off the relentless cold. Tourists can engage with local customs, perhaps trying their hand at ice fishing or even participating in a traditional reindeer sleigh ride. It's crucial to be well prepared with layered clothing, insulated boots, and thermal accessories. Despite the severe climate, Oymyakon is also a place of stunning natural beauty. The northern lights occasionally grace the sky with ethereal displays of color, adding a magical quality to the already alien view. Number 3. Cape York Peninsula, Australia. Welcome to the Cape York Peninsula, one of Australia's last true wilderness frontiers. Located at the northernmost tip of the continent, this is a place where adventure and nature collide spectacularly. The Cape York Peninsula is an expansive area covered in dense, remote rainforest and crisscrossed by wild rivers, making it accessible only by four-wheel drive vehicles or boats during the wet season. Its isolation and rugged terrain challenge even the most experienced adventurers. Your journey to Cape York starts with a flight to Cairns, the nearest major city. From Cairns, the real adventure begins as you head north. The trip can be undertaken as part of a guided tour or on your own, but either way, a sturdy four-wheel drive is essential. As you drive through the peninsula, the roads become increasingly challenging, especially during the wet season when they can turn into impassable mud tracks. This is when the journey itself becomes part of the story you'll tell. Along the way, you'll pass through historic sites like the old gold rush town of Cooktown and indigenous communities where visitors can learn about the rich cultures of the Aboriginal peoples of the area. Once you reach the tip of the peninsula, known as the Tip, you are at the very top of Australia. Here, surrounded by the Coral Sea to the east and the Arafura Sea to the west, you can literally stand at the edge of the continent. Visitors can also explore the lush rainforests, home to an incredible diversity of flora and fauna. Bird watching is particularly rewarding here, with many species not found anywhere else in the world. Another highlight is fishing in the region's rivers and coastal waters, which are teeming with barramundi and other fish species. For those interested in marine life, the snorkeling and diving around the northern reefs are world-class. Cape York is not just a destination, it's an adventure that tests your resilience and rewards you with experiences that few other places on Earth can. From crossing rivers to navigating through mud, every turn brings a new challenge and a beautiful new vista. This remote peninsula offers an escape to one of the most untouched and extraordinary environments in Australia. Cape York calls to the heart of every explorer, offering a journey back to nature in its wildest form. Number 4. Gasherbrum II, Pakistan. Welcome to Gasherbrum II, Pakistan, a towering giant among the Great Peaks of the Karakoram Ridge. At an elevation of 8,035 meters, 26,362 feet, Gasherbrum II is the 13th highest mountain in the world and one of the most remote and challenging climbs that attract seasoned mountaineers from across the globe. The journey to Gasherbrum II begins long before the climb, involving extensive preparation and acclimatization. Adventurers typically start their expedition by flying into Islamabad, Pakistan's capital. From Islamabad, a flight or drive to Skardu follows, which serves as the gateway to the Karakoram Mountains. The road to Skardu is an adventure in itself, known for its breathtaking views and precarious mountain passes. Upon reaching Skardu, climbers gather their supplies and finalize their preparations. The next leg of the journey involves a trek to the base camp through some of the most stunning landscapes on Earth. This trek can take several days and leads through rugged terrain, including vast glaciers and high-altitude passes. The base camp for Gasherbrum II lies at an altitude of about 5,000 meters, 16,400 feet, and it's from here that climbers begin their ascent. Climbing Gasherbrum II requires a high level of technical skill, physical endurance, and mental fortitude. The climb typically involves navigating through crevices, enduring harsh weather conditions, and acclimatizing to extreme altitudes. Due to its remote location and the technical challenges it presents, climbers must be supported by experienced guides and porters. The logistics of such an expedition include arranging for adequate food, climbing gear, and emergency equipment. Communication equipment is also vital to maintain contact with support teams and for safety purposes. The ascent is typically conducted in stages, establishing multiple camps on the mountain as climbers acclimatize and push higher towards the summit. The reward for those who reach the summit is a panoramic view of the Karakoram Ridge, an unforgettable sight that few get to experience. Number 5. Pitcairn Islands. Venture to the Pitcairn Islands, a tiny British overseas territory in the heart of the South Pacific. Known as one of the world's most isolated inhabited islands, Pitcairn is a remote paradise with just a few dozen residents, descendants of the infamous Bounty mutineers and their Tahitian companions. Getting to Pitcairn is an adventure that requires commitment and time. Travelers typically begin their journey by flying to Tahiti, the largest island in French Polynesia. From Tahiti, the next step involves catching one of the infrequent flights to Mangareva in the Gambier Islands, the closest airport to Pitcairn, located about 500 miles away. Once in Mangareva, the final leg of the journey to Pitcairn is by sea. Visitors must board the Pitcairn Islands supply ship, which schedules roughly quarterly trips to the island, taking about 32 hours to traverse the oceanic expanse that separates the islands. This voyage is not only a literal crossing, but a journey back in time to a simpler, slower-paced way of life. Life on Pitcairn is uniquely serene yet rugged. The island's topography is characterized by rocky outcrops and steep cliffs, surrounded by the vast blue of the Pacific. The small population lives in Adamstown, where community life revolves around a central square. With no airport, safe harbor, or major tourism infrastructure, the islanders sustain themselves through subsistence farming, fishing, and small-scale handicrafts, which they sell to the few visitors who make the journey each year. The isolation of Pitcairn has preserved not only its natural beauty, but also a close-knit community culture that is welcoming yet distinctly unique. The experience of visiting Pitcairn isn't just about seeing the island, it's about engaging with a way of life that has remained largely unchanged for over 2 centuries. Number 6. Supai, Arizona, USA. Explore Supai, Arizona, located in the heart of the Grand Canyon. This remote village is home to the Havasupai tribe and is famed for its breathtaking waterfalls and unique location, making it one of the most challenging yet rewarding destinations in the United States. To reach Supai, adventurers begin their journey in either Las Vegas or Phoenix, the nearest major cities with airports. From there, a drive to Hualapai Hilltop, a remote parking area on the rim of the Grand Canyon, is necessary. This is the starting point for the trek to Supai, and there is no road that goes directly into the village. The only ways to access Supai are by an 8-mile, 13-kilometer hike by mule or by helicopter. The hike takes approximately 4 to 7 hours depending on pace and requires descending 2,000 feet into the canyon. This trail winds through stunning canyon walls, providing incredible views and a profound sense of isolation from the outside world. For those preferring a quicker route, helicopters are available but must be booked well in advance due to their popularity and limited availability. The helicopter ride offers an aerial view of the rugged terrain and turquoise waters that make the area so famous. Upon arrival, visitors find themselves in a village that feels a world apart. There are no cars and all supplies are brought in by mule or helicopter. The local Havasupai tribe administers the land and the tourism, welcoming visitors to explore their home while emphasizing respect for the natural and cultural heritage of the area. Staying overnight is highly recommended, and visitors can camp at the designated campground or stay at the local lodge, both requiring reservations well in advance. The experience of sleeping in the Grand Canyon under the stars with the sound of waterfalls nearby is unforgettable. Number 7. Bouvet Island, Antarctica. Bouvet Island, a Norwegian dependency, is covered predominantly by a glacier, with the terrain characterized by steep and forbidding volcanic cliffs. Its isolation and extreme weather conditions make it one of the least visited places in the world. Reaching Bouvet Island is an expedition that very few undertake, typically organized by governments for scientific research or by very specialized private expedition groups. Travel to the island begins with a flight to Cape Town, South Africa, or Punta Arenas, Chile, which are the usual staging points for trips to the Southern Oceans. From there, adventurers must board an ice-strengthened vessel equipped to handle the harsh conditions of the Southern Ocean. The voyage to Bouvet Island can take 2 to 3 weeks, crossing some of the most daunting seas on the planet, including the possibility of navigating through sea ice and dealing with severe storms. Due to the unpredictable weather and difficult sea conditions, landing on Bouvet Island is rarely guaranteed. The island's coast offers no harbors, and the heavy surf combined with steep and icy shores makes landing a craft exceptionally risky. Expeditions may use helicopters from the ship when conditions allow, offering a safer but still challenging means of setting foot on the island. Visitors to Bouvet Island are likely to find themselves in a desolate landscape of ice and rock, with little visible life other than seabirds and seals. The island is an important breeding ground for various seabirds, including the elusive chinstrap penguins, as well as a habitat for seals who rest on its ice-covered expanses. For those who manage to reach it, Bouvet Island represents the ultimate in remote destinations, a place that is more remote than many spots in Antarctica itself and offers profound insights into the resilience of life and the forces of nature. There you have it, 7 of the hardest places to reach on Earth as humans. Do you think you're one of the most daring persons to walk the Earth? Then you can plan to take a trip to one of these places, but I'll advise you. Please take relevant precautions though. Like this video and subscribe to this channel for more content like this.